talked about, high points and low points, and there really weren't that many high points. It started off low and got lower. My name's Ted Merrill. I'm 40 years old. I'm from Annapolis, moved to Baltimore 6 years ago. I'm an alcoholic. And I've been sober for 6.5 months. There's been conflict in my life almost from the beginning. I started drinking when I was 10 years old. It's been a long and rocky road with a lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad choices. When I drink, that the cork that I keep in that bottle gets loosened, and who knows what that manifests itself as, but it was never pretty. And finally, leading up to, like the admission where it's just like, I can't drink, but I don't have a solution outside of that. So heroin became my solution. And so for 3 years, I followed that until it just left me in just the absolute darkest place I've ever been. I got to the mission because the week prior to my coming here, for whatever reason, I had the only drug dealer in the world who won't come when I have money. And for 2 days, he just kind of left me hanging. And I'd been waiting for something to happen. And I knew I was about to be really, really sick. But at that point, I said, okay, this is what I've been looking for. He doesn't want to come. I don't want his crap anyway. And so I kicked cold turkey for like 6 or 7 days, violently ill, the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. And then I went to a meeting and I said, I have absolutely no idea what to do. Someone please help me, is what it came down to. And they directed me to some guys who were from here. I talked to them, they said come, and I came. No looking back. The poetry and writing in general is something that I always liked. I used to do a lot of it in high school. But then, drugs and alcohol, and instead of being just a recreational thing, just became a way of life. And coming back here to the mission, I picked up the poetry right away because I can see my thoughts, whereas opposed to just letting them wander around in my head aimlessly. They get down on paper and I can look at them and I can analyze whether or not they're true. In the beginning, when I first got to the mission, those weren't true feelings. They were just momentary. It's been just a phenomenal process for me, rediscovering, one, anything I'm passionate about, because I had no inspiration. I used to look at pieces of paper and just try and will myself to write anything, something, and I couldn't. I would just stare at a blank piece of paper and just say, you know what, forget it. And you know, now that's not the case. You know, now that, you know, I'm open and willing again to do the work, it's coming really easy. I've ceased to struggle, and therefore the work just becomes, you know, as easy as breathing. I don't have to really think about it. I know what it is that I'm supposed to do, and I believe I have an idea of what I think God wants me to do. And my will and His will line up very easily. And being at the mission has made it that much more easier. Without God, you know, my power is insufficient to do what it is I need to do. So I need to keep Him with me, and He'll take care of the rest. This poem's called Made the End Begin, and in Alcoholics Anonymous they say we share our experience, strength, and hope. And this is mine. Step into these pages, friend, and see what you might find. Peek into the crevices of a dark and twisted mind. Beware what you discover, judge it not lest you mistake all the actions and decisions that cause this mind to break. We come upon a child that doesn't know what's wrong, has no clue of his affliction that he will suffer for so long. He lashes out in panic, burns his fears inside a fire, yet the tension keeps on building from the unknowable desire that cries aloud inside him, someone help me, I am lost. No one else can hear it, nor know what it will cost. For 14 years he'll muddle, going through life without a plan. Then the time will come when finally he is asked to be a man. And now the worst decision he will ever have to face. For so long it will separate him from the human race. A decision made from fear, yet the only one that's right, will damage him so deeply it will haunt him every night. The next 8 years he'll wander, he will fight and he will drink, spending lots of time in jail as his heart begins to shrink. Then he'll find a power and be shown a little grace, but he will not plant a seed, and a year will get erased. 10 years that will follow are years spent on the run, running with his demons, running from his son. It only seemed that alcohol would be the one that did him in, yet it was the demon heroin that made the end begin. Yeah. I read that one to my mom, and my mom's very rarely at a loss for words. And you know, living with me as she did, you know, through all that, I think the best compliment I ever got was she's like, you know, Teddy, that was exhausting. I'm gonna go take a nap now. You know, it's been a long road. I'm grateful that I'm, you know, able to deal with this stuff now. You know, I haven't dealt with anything for a long, long time, and
I'm proud of you, bro.
thanks.
You good?
Good.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem.